In the twilight of an empire, amidst the crumbling halls of the Ottoman Sultanate, a figure emerged who would not only salvage a nation from the ashes but forge a new identity for its people. This is the story of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founder of the modern Republic of Turkey. Born in 1881 in Salonika, then a vibrant Ottoman city, Mustafa's early life was marked by a thirst for knowledge and a defiant spirit. His father, a minor official, enrolled him in a traditional religious school, but the young Mustafa, drawn to a more modern education, insisted on transferring to a secular institution. His sharp intellect and ambition soon became apparent. It was at the military middle school that a mathematics teacher, also named Mustafa, gave him the second name Kemal, meaning perfection, a name he would carry with him for the rest of his life. His journey continued at the Monastir Military High School and later at the prestigious Ottoman Military Academy in Istanbul. These were not just years of military training, they were years of profound intellectual awakening. In the bustling, cosmopolitan atmosphere of Istanbul, Mustafa Kemal and his peers were exposed to the revolutionary ideas of the French Revolution: liberty, equality, and nationalism. They read forbidden texts, debated the future of their decaying empire, and grew increasingly convinced that radical change was the only path to survival. The autocratic rule of Sultan Abdulhamid II stifled progress, and a generation of young officers, including Mustafa Kemal, dreamed of a constitutional, modernized state. Upon graduating, his military career began not in the grand theaters of Europe, but in the distant deserts of North Africa. In 1911, Italy invaded the Ottoman province of Tripolitania, modern-day Libya. Sent as a volunteer officer, Mustafa Kemal demonstrated his tactical brilliance for the first time on a significant stage. Despite being vastly outnumbered and undersupplied, he organized local Arab tribes into an effective resistance force, employing guerrilla tactics that frustrated the Italian advance. This experience in the Tripoli War honed his leadership skills and his ability to inspire men under the most challenging conditions. He was soon recalled to face an even greater threat, closer to home. The Balkan Wars of 1912 and 1913 were a disaster for the Ottoman Empire, resulting in the loss of almost all its European territories. Mustafa Kemal served with distinction, particularly in the Second Balkan War, where he played a key role in the recapture of the city of Edin. These conflicts were a bitter lesson. He witnessed firsthand the consequences of a weak central government, military unpreparedness, and the destructive power of rival nationalisms. The loss of his birthplace, Salonika to Greece, was a personal blow, cementing his belief that a strong, unified, and modern Turkish nation-state was the only guarantee of survival. Then came the Great War. The Ottoman Empire disastrously allied with the Central Powers. Lieutenant Colonel Mustafa Kemal was assigned to command the 19th Division at the Gallipoli Peninsula, when Allied forces, primarily composed of British, Australian, and New Zealand troops, landed in April 1915. They were met with ferocious and unexpected resistance. It was here that Mustafa Kemal's name became legendary. At a critical moment, seeing his soldiers retreating, he issued his now famous order: "I do not order you to attack, I order you to die. In the time which passes until we die, other troops and commanders can come and take our place." His strategic foresight and personal bravery were instrumental in preventing the Allied capture of the Dardanelles Strait, a victory that saved Istanbul and secured his status as a national hero. Despite this heroic defense, the war ended in defeat. The Ottoman Empire lay shattered, its capital occupied by Allied forces, its territories carved up by the victorious powers. The Etten-Jobai-Arshu Treaty of Sevres was a death sentence, partitioning Anatolia and leaving only a small, powerless Turkish state. For many, this was the end. But for Mustafa Kemal, it was the beginning. Refusing to accept the partition of his homeland, he traveled to Samsun on the Black Sea coast in May 1919, an act that marks the traditional start of the Turkish War of Independence. From there, he journeyed inland, rallying disillusioned army commanders and the Turkish people. In Erzurum and Sivas, he organized congresses that laid the groundwork for a national resistance, establishing a clear principle: national sovereignty must be unconditional. The logistical challenges were immense. The nation was impoverished, its infrastructure destroyed by years of war, and its people weary. Yet, a spirit of defiance took hold. On April 23, 1920, In the heart of Anatolia, the Grand National Assembly was established in Ankara. This new body declared itself the sole legitimate representative of the Turkish nation, rejecting both the Sultan's government in occupied Istanbul and the elite-imposed treaty. It was a revolutionary government, combining legislative and executive powers to wage a war for survival. Under Mustafa Kemal's leadership, as its first speaker and commander-in-chief, the assembly organized a new national army from scattered remnants and volunteer militias. The war was fought on multiple fronts against Greek forces in the west, Armenian forces in the east, and French forces in the south, all while suppressing internal rebellions. The people sacrificed everything. Women carried munitions over mountains, and old men forged weapons in makeshift workshops. After years of brutal fighting, the Turkish army, under the direct command of Mustafa Kemal, achieved a decisive victory at the Battle of Dumlupino in August 1922. The enemy was driven from Anatolia, and the War of Independence was won. The subsequent Treaty of Lausanne in 1923 overturned the humiliating Treaty of recognizing the sovereignty and territorial integrity of a new state. On October 29, 1923, the Grand National Assembly officially proclaimed the Republic of Turkey, and Mustafa Kemal was unanimously elected its first president. With independence secured, Ataturk, a surname meaning father of the Turks bestowed upon him by the parliament, embarked on his most ambitious campaign, the complete transformation of Turkish society. This was not just a change of government, it was a revolution of the mind and spirit. The core philosophy was secularism. Ataturk believed that the fusion of religion and state had held back the Ottoman Empire for centuries, stifling science, innovation, and social progress. In 1924, he abolished the caliphate, the last symbolic remnant of the Ottoman theocratic system. Religious schools were closed, and a unified, secular system of national education was established. The legal system was completely overhauled, replacing religious law with modern civil, penal, and commercial codes adapted from European models. For the first time, women were granted equal rights, including the right to vote and stand for office, years before many Western nations. One of the most profound reforms was the adoption of a new Turkish alphabet, based on Latin script in 1928. The Arabic script, ill-suited for the Turkish language, had contributed to widespread illiteracy. Ataturk personally traveled the country with a blackboard, teaching the new letters to the people in what was called the nation's schools. The reform dramatically increased literacy rates and reoriented Turkey culturally towards the West. Economic independence was as crucial as political independence. Ataturk promoted a policy of statism, where the state took the lead in industrial development to build a national economy free from foreign control. Banks were founded, factories were built, and railway networks were expanded. Agriculture, the backbone of the economy, was modernized through education and the establishment of model farms. In foreign policy, Ataturk's guiding principle was encapsulated in his famous maxim, "Peace at home, peace in the world." Having fought numerous wars, he was a man of peace, seeking stability and cooperation. He resolved territorial disputes with neighbors, most notably the peaceful settlement of the Hatay province issue with France. In 1932, Turkey joined the League of Nations, signaling its commitment to the international community. He forged a Balkan Pact with Greece, Yugoslavia, and Romania in 1934, and the Sotabad Pact with Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan in 1937, creating zones of stability and proving that a former empire could become a force for regional peace. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk passed away on November 10th, at the age of just 57. His death was mourned, not only by his nation but by world leaders, who recognized him as one of the 20th century's great statesmen. His legacy is not just in the institutions he built, but in the ideals he championed, collectively known as Kemalism, or its 6 principles: republicanism, nationalism, populism, statism, secularism, and reformism became the ideological foundation of the Republic and continued to shape its political and social discourse. Ataturk transformed a medieval empire into a modern, secular, and democratic nation. He was a soldier who hated war, a revolutionary who built a stable state, and a leader who empowered his people with knowledge and freedom. His life stands as a powerful testament to the idea that one person's vision, courage, An unwavering will can indeed change the course of history and build a nation as future from the ashes of its past. His story remains a source of inspiration, a reminder of what is possible when leadership is dedicated to reason, progress, and the sovereignty of the people. Thank you for watching.